Dobson. This is a skate contest that came to Pensacola. It was a huge deal. And if you know where the First Baptist Church is in Gulf Breeze downtown, I mean in Pensacola downtown, kind of on Palafox and Cervantes sort of. Well, it was a big area that everyone skated in for a couple years. And Dale Dobson flew in and presented some prizes, and he was a real famous surfer in California. The guy in the orange shirt is Freddie Esposito, who's a longtime guy. The guy to the left of Dale Dobson is me, and I'm too shy to look at the girl in the eyes I'm talking to, so I'm looking at the ground. But Dave took that picture. This is Beezer Turner, and one of the best surfers that Pensacola has ever seen. He's lived in San Diego for the last several years. The photo by Dave. You had an interesting story about some of these pictures. Tell that. This is Yancey Spencer.
Okay, so Yancey and Beezer and myself and Tony Caruso drove to New Jersey for a pro surf contest that they were going to have in New Jersey. I believe it was Ocean City, but I'm not 100% certain now. But we got up there and it skunked. They canceled the contest. There was no surf whatsoever. And so we're driving back and we're trying to think, okay, now this was a bust, but what can we do to make something out of it? And I said, why don't we shoot a whole bunch of ad photos and I'll send them to the magazine and see if anybody bites and publishes them. And sure enough, we ended up selling a photo. I don't believe, this one, no, it was one with J.B. Falbo, Yancey, and Beezer together on the beach. It's totally flat, but they're wearing wetsuits and have surfboards. And Surfer House Wetsuits bought the photo, which helped Beezer and Yancey become more well known, and it paid me $25 or something. I don't remember. And so it's like we were all very what's the right word? We were proactive on trying to get ourselves in the magazines and get my photos published. So anyway, it was totally. Nobody asked us to do it. We just did it and rolled the dice, saw what happened.
Yeah, it worked. You know, something I'd like to add is that it's hard to describe, but back then, in the 70s, in my mind, there's almost like a collective insecurity thing if you're a surfer from Pensacola. Maybe it was just me, but when we travel, we go to these places, to go to the east coast of Florida, go to California, go to Hawaii, and people go, where are you from? Where are you from, mate? If you're in Australia, wherever. But you'd say, well, I'm from Florida. Oh, okay, yeah. They're thinking the East Coast. Well, when you'd finally get the courage to tell them, well, I'm actually from Pensacola, which is on the Gulf Coast, they were just like, what? There's no surf there. But then, after a while, people started seeing pictures that Dave would get, and some from Tony Caruso, who was from Fort Walton Beach, but of Yancey Spencer and Beezer Turner and some of the guys from here. And then when we would go to travel and say, yeah, we're from Pensacola, Florida. Ah, Yancey Spencer. And so it was like, oh, so now we kind of have an identity. Now we're somebody. We're not just from some podunk place. So what Dave did, and I know I don't mean to, it sounds silly kind of, and I know Dave's kind of embarrassed, but he really did a lot for our, like when a new magazine would come, every 2 months, and if there were some pictures of Pensacola, you could feel it. Everyone was just electric, like, whoa, we're in the magazine. Did you see a picture of Dirk Wood or Yancey or Beezer or whatever? It was just huge.
Wait, can I say one more?
Yeah.
And talking about the fact that, people would see the pictures about, I don't know, 15 or so years later when I had the surf shop, I was at the Surf Expo, which was the big convention where the sales reps all got together and had a sales area for each product that they sold. And I went up to a company, I believe it was a sunglass company, but it wasn't Oakley, that I said, I'm interested in carrying your product. And the salesman who I was talking to said, we have enough dealers in Florida. We're not really interested in opening was turning away, about to leave, and I think I handed him my card. I said, if you change your mind. And it turns out the guy standing next to him was the national sales manager. And he read my card, and he stopped me, and he said, are you the Dave Skelton that took all the photos of Pensacola with those beautiful green waves or whatever? And I said, yeah, that was a while ago, but yes, I'm that person. And he said, we'll be glad to open you up.
That's awesome. Mike Bredesen, I think that's you inside that wave. Dave took this at the bay, at Fort Pickens Point, where it wraps into the bay, and there's occasionally a right. Most of the time the waves go left, but someone, I don't know if Dave thought it or someone told me they thought that was you. So, okay.
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't know who the other guy is. This is Yancey Spencer at that skate contest, I believe, that Dave took this picture. That's Yancey was probably about, gosh, 25, 26, 7 years old, somewhere in there. This is Dirk Wood, and Dave took this, and these are pictures of pictures that these are 50-year-old slides that I took pictures of with my iPhone, so they don't really show you the real quality of what Dave did, but this is Dirk Wood, and that wave would be a great wave anywhere in the world. And I think it's one of the best pictures ever from here, in my opinion.
Beautiful.
So, but that's Dirk Wood. His brother Kevin's here in the back. This is a silhouette of Yancey in the Bahamas. Dave took this. This is Dave showing, this is his, well, you want to tell the story?
Sure. Actually, Tom probably should tell it, because this is just a few years ago, and everybody basically kind of forgotten about my photography.
I'll tell it, okay. Surfer's Journal is like, there's not many magazines left in the surfing world, because print is not what it used to be. But this is like it's like the Surfer's Journal. It's like what's the real deal. It's what you want to be in. And I think Dave had always dreamed of having a picture in there. And this was an article on, I think, Sterling Spencer. And some of his pictures got, the one where you see the three guys standing, that's the same thing Dave was just talking about, where they took pictures to create an ad. And so he got that published. And so we went to Single Fin Cafe and celebrated. So, this is Brian. I think this is in Panama City. Dave took this?
Yeah, I think so. In the park there, on the west side.
Back in the day, you could get to Panama City pretty quick. It was 90 miles, so you could get there, 90 minutes basically. But and I can remember driving in with Yancey in a van, and we thought, well, let's just for fun, let's just go down 30A and just rip through there, because it was so empty.
Yeah.
You just blaze through 30A for any potential surf spots. But back then, you would surf here, the cold fronts would come through, and the surf would get really good, and it would blow offshore, and it would typically kind of come from the northwest, and so it would blow the surf flat, but the next day in Panama City, there'd be like a leftover swell. So you could just jump in the car and drive 90 miles, and you'd be in Panama City and go surf there. So it's probably what these guys are doing here, I assume. Yep, and that's Brian. This is actually Yancey Spencer, and I don't know if that's the cross, or could that be Panama City?
Yeah.
It might be the same day, maybe so.
I don't understand what's going on in the background here. So
That might be a little bit of the outside break. Sometimes it would break a little bit out there. This is Yancey. Dave took this, a water shot. I want to say that's the cross, but I don't know for sure.
It probably is.
Okay. This is a guy named Glenn Curl, and Glenn was in that video we did earlier. Glenn passed away, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe, something like that. He was a great surfer back in the day. This is, I don't know if you recognize any of these houses, but this is like beyond Regency, like Cali Hermosa and stuff. So in the later 70s, or well, this is still early 70s, so it was starting to develop down there. This is Ken Roos. Ken Roos was the guy, he and Yancey were the guys that were partners with the early Greg Knoll surf shop, and he sold out his share to Yancey, and then it was New Era, and then it became Interlight, and it's been that, you know, of course, ever since. But this is down the same spot down there, and Dave took this water shot.
That's Alabama.
Yep, Mark Rush, and this was in the surfing yearbook, the surfing annual. Yeah, so that's a guy named Mark Rush who lives in Panama City, and that's at Alabama Point, yeah. Okay, this is my favorite picture of John Spencer, who's here. And he had this purple egg, a single fin egg that Hank Warner shaped, and Dave took this. Was this down near the last house, or do you guys know? The last house? Okay, all right. So anyway, I just think that's a very cool shot.
Okay, watch him come back around. I'm sorry, Dorothy. Oh.
This is a guy, his nickname was Roly Poly. It's Larry Ball. He lived on Gilmore Drive. He grew up on Gilmore Drive in Gulf Breeze. This was at that skate event that we had at the First Baptist Church in 1970, I want to say 75. And he could be double jointed. He was double jointed, so he could do these weird positions. And one summer, I spent the summer in San Diego right out of high school. And then that October, I went back with some friends from here. And I, you know, if you're from here, you wanted so bad, you wanted to be cool so bad. And California was just a different culture than here. And we walked into the surf shop. We drove a van out there, and we all went to the surf shop. And I said, "This is Steve, and this is so and so, this is so, this is Roly Poly." And I went on. And the guy goes, "Wait a minute, why Roly Poly?" And I said, "Larry, don't do it, don't do it, don't." But he gets on the floor and he does that. And I was so embarrassed, but they thought it was fantastic. So he was cool and I wasn't. Okay, Dave took this, I think at the cross, and we've wondered this many times, but that's Yancey Spencer, the guy behind, and it might be Mark Fu. It looks kind of like his style, but I don't know for sure. So yeah, I love that picture. This is a guy named Pat Bailey. This was probably like in the 90s when you did some, once Dave got the shops, he wasn't taking pictures as much.
I somehow seem to think it was 89.
Oh, okay, 89. And Pat Bailey was a great surfer. He passed away a few years ago, sadly. I'm not sure what happened, but he was a great tennis player. He lived in Bay Cliffs, North Cliff. And then he he got tired of tennis, he got into surfing, and he became really good. Scott Belcher? Yeah, this is a Dave shot. Scott Belcher, he was a local Gulf Breeze guy. Was that the pier, you think? Or, do you know?
No, I believe it was around where Brown House used to be.
Okay. Brown House was at the corner of 14th and Areola, and it was called Brown House because there used to be a Brown House there. Oh, this is that picture of Dirk again. This was huge. This was so huge, and to me anyway. There's an article in Surfer Magazine, and Dave took these pictures. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I was working at Hutson Hardware when this came out, and I remember seeing it. I was so excited. But that's Brian Waters on the bottom. That's Harry Allen, the circle on the top. And that's Yancey Spencer. And it was, could that have been the same day, John, that picture of you? Okay, so this might have been at the last house. That's what comes to mind. So, but to be a whole article, they did Pensacola like Pepsi Cola, you know.
Yeah.
And you just have to have lived here back in 1970 something as a Pensacola surfer to see we're somebody. We're in the magazines, you know. I'm from that town. This is out in front of Bucks, and this was like an ad. I guess you did an ad.
I believe this was in the Gulf Breeze High School yearbook as, you know, an ad for Bucks Surfing Sport.
So this is Randall King, who used to live on Pensacola Beach, and then the guy in the middle is Ronnie Thomas, and his dad was it Todd? His dad was one of the guys from King Surfboards. Oh gosh.
He did build surfboards. I forgot the name of the shop.
Who? Which
Ron Thomas.
Ronnie?
Yeah, there was King Surfboards, but that was his father. And then that's John Green on the far side, I guess on our far right. This is Ted Cobia. I think this is in Panama City. And this is another Dave's picture. This is Bob. No, he's a plumber. Did he have a plumbing shop or something? This is Bob. This is Dave took this shot out in the water. I want to say this was down by the cross for some reason. Okay. Bye, Bob. This is a picture. You'd always see pictures in the magazine of Hawaii and these perfect waves. And Dave, I don't know if you had anything you want to say about it, but he just clicked this image out in the water of a perfect wave. It's pretty cool.
I will say that wave is actually only about a foot high.
I'm so
Right, we're gonna
disappointed.
cut that part out.
I always thought it was like 6 feet, perfect. Oh gosh, okay. Oh,
Oh my God.
Areola Drive back in,
The days.
73 or 4.
Yeah,
I
look at
was
the
living
cars.
with Brian and Mike at the time, and I think a storm had come through, and I just decided to take a picture.
You think?
You know, like a storm meaning like a hurricane or a tropical storm. And I just snapped a photo, and you know, Tom loves these photos of how things were, so he grabbed it from me when he went through my slides.
Is that looking towards Portofino?
I believe so.
Okay. So this is,
Looking east, not towards Portofino.
I mean, not Areola.
yeah, but from right across from Brian's. So this is when the houses were, you know, about $20,000 or whatever. And look at the traffic. You could take a nap there and not be bothered. This is Brian skateboarding. I don't know if you took this or not. I think this was at the parking lot there at the First Baptist. Brian's going for a barrel in the palm tree.
They call that roadway in.
Roadway in, yes. That's a good point. Everyone skated the roadway in, and back then, basically, you only skated because there was no surf, so you pretend like you're surfing. And the roadway in was faced Cervani Street. Now it's some other motel, but this was actually behind it, and across the road was the Baptist church. And they didn't care. They were nice. They let us skate there all the time. I don't think we ever figured out who this was. This is a picture Dave took. This is Mike Bredesen. Yep, this is you skating. This was, I want to say this was maybe in the News Journal. Yeah. This was Yancey Switchfoot. You know, not a great, as far as technical, but just kind of a neat, the old beaver tail wetsuit, which would have made it around 73-ish, I guess, something like that. This is Steve Davis that Dave took at Fort Pickens. This is Rick Sievers. I think you took this too. And where was it?
Yeah, the townhouse, what was it, apartments or hotel? Hotel. And it was in their swimming pool, and they drained the pool, and we took it over.
Good outstanding citizens. Okay, Dave did not take this, but this is Rick Sievers, and I'm sure that's an Islander board, but look how rickety that pier is.
Who cares?
And nobody cared. You could just go out there, throw your board off, and hope the wind didn't blow it away, and then you jump off. But this is what everyone did all the time, and this just captures that moment. I love that. This is Brian cutting off John Spencer, I think. And Dave took this from the water. And do you know where this was by chance? Would this maybe the same spot where John was in that last? Okay, same day. All right. So Brian cutting off the pastor. Okay. This is JB Falbo. Yeah, this is at the bay where, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, the point, the surfer could come into Fort Pickens, it would wrap around the point, and that's looking at the Navy base across the bay. And the waves would get really good. And the wind would blow really hard out of the east and southeast and make the Gulf just a mess. But down there it would blow offshore, so it made the waves really good. And up until Hurricane Frederick, it was a very, very special place. Just amazing. And this is Brian at the bay going right, which is unusual, kind of. Any thoughts on that or any comments? Or?
It's pretty rare to have a right at the bay.
Ah, that's probably right, yes. Probably took off, cut back. Yeah, okay, that makes total sense. This is one of the shots they did trying to get in the magazine. And it reminds me of like beach blanket bingo where, they would put a screen behind him and it looked like it'd be Waimea Bay, giant waves. And they're just, But that's J.B. Falbo, Beezer Turner, and Yancey Spencer. This is the greatest guy. This was Dave's good buddy, Harry Allen. And I think, could this be Peace Pole? Harry was such a good guy. And he loved surfing by himself. And at that era, you'd go down towards now where they have like Dog Park East and some of the parking lots. There's a big telephone pole that had someone sprayed a peace sign. I think it was pink, if I'm not mistaken. But so Harry discovered this spot and he called it Peace Pole. And I remember pulling up one day, he was frustrated because, people are coming now. But he was just the best guy. He has a smile, if you can see it. He just was always smiling, had the best laugh, and he was a really good surfer. And he became, did he become a full-on fisherman, like a professional?
He was a boat captain.
Oh, boat captain.
Yeah, sports fisherman.
Okay. And this is probably the same day, and Dave took this picture. I love this picture, and that's Harry. It just catches the speed, his look. He's looking ahead, he's intense, and it's a perfect wave, and I don't know, I just think it's fantastic. This is Rick Sievers, and wasn't this an Islander ad? Was this?
I think this also, I believe this was also used as a editorial photo in Surfer magazine, but then after, like a month or so after that came out, Brian used it as in an ad for Islander surfboards. So it ended up doing double duty. It was just a regular photograph in the magazine and then an ad photo.
I think Rick lives in Destin now, if I'm not mistaken. I see we have Steve Glover in the house. Did you see the art we showed earlier? Okay, all right. Hey, Steve. Oh, okay. Well, we showed.
Sorry, baby. I'm gonna knock her head off.
What's that?
But I probably still have it.
Oh, okay. This is a picture Dave took, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is not Mike Bredesen on the bottom because his hair is blonde, it's super long, and that's Mark Fu, who he just rode our little waves, and then he went to Hawaii and just became an expert in huge waves. Okay, I was telling Mike, I remember the first time I ever saw him surfing. And I had a job for one weekend as a dishwasher at a restaurant on the Pensacola Beach. And I remember I was in high school and I went out and it killed me because the surf was up. So I did my work. I rushed to the pier. And on a day kind of like this, Mike's a pretty tall guy. And I see this guy with super long white hair squatting these little waves. And I'm thinking, who's that guy? Because back then you kind of knew who everybody was, and Mike was, I don't know, I'll never forget seeing you for the first time. What's that?
I came back from California.
Oh, you came back from California, okay. This is Harry Allen that Dave took. This is Rick Settlemeyer, and did you take this one? Okay, I'm not sure. I think I got that from Freddie Esposito's site. But he was a guy, he worked at Islander, he was a great airbrusher, very artistic, and had a really smooth style, just great.
Is that
And-
plywood up behind plywood
What's that?
ramp? The plywood, did he go, is it?
Yeah, it looks like a plywood ramp, doesn't it?
We do.
This is Rick on an Islander board, and this is probably a long swallowtail egg maybe, and he rode those really well. I really like that picture a lot as a surfer. Oh, is it Ray Smith? Yeah, this was near.
Yeah, it's Ray Smith.
Yeah, and this was about early 70s, 74-ish maybe.
Yeah, I was living with Brian and Mike at the time, and that's directly out from 207 Areola. And I don't remember why I went out and took photos of Ray. Maybe he asked me to, I'm not sure. But anyway, took those photos. And the really interesting thing is that I ran into him about 3 or 4 months ago, and I didn't recognize him, he didn't recognize me, but we reintroduced ourselves, and I went, "Did you used to surf?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "I've got photographs of you surfing." And he went, "No way." And I said, "Give me your phone number, I will fax or text them to you." And so he got the photos, and I heard he was super excited, but I haven't seen him since, so I don't know for sure.
I'm not mistaken, I'm not positive, but I think maybe his wife was here last year, or maybe he was here too, but I think he saw some of these pictures, I think. But what I like as much as the surfing, I love the surfing, but I love the background and looking at our beach, you know, the lack of development, that just, I don't know, it's just special. This is Beezer, taken by Dave. Mike Bredesen in Puerto Rico, taken by Dave. This is the coolest picture. This is the Rick Settlemeyer, and this is at the road between what was the Roadway Inn and the Baptist Church. And just something about him and the shadows and the green and the colors that come to purple hue. I don't know, I just think it's a neat picture. This is Surfer Magazine, and the top left was the cover of Surfer Magazine, and these pictures were in it that Dave took of Dirk Wood on the top, which I showed earlier. This picture here on the bottom right is Ted Cobia and a guy named Mike Bredesen, and it was a 2-page spread, which that was huge to have in Surfer Magazine. Some local guys, our waves, a 2-page spread. It was just, I don't know, it's just epic. And in this picture on the far left on the bottom is Yancey, I think in Panama City, I think so. Okay. Yeah.
The interesting thing is, you know, as a photographer, you always dream of either getting a cover or like a centerfold spread type of thing. And usually the magazines would send me a heads up. You know, I'd get a letter or something saying we're using your photos. And back when I was a sales rep, I went into a surf shop in Jacksonville, and what was it, Bruce Cleland was the manager. And I walked in, and he goes, "Hey man, I really like your article in the New Surfer." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he pulled it out and showed me those photos. I almost fell to the floor because I was so stoked.
Hey, we only have a few more minutes. I'm going to rush through some pictures, but I want to say one last little announcement before you all nod off. Is that a lot of you had these flyers on your chairs, and it's for just to make it really condensed. There's Randy Hepworth and his daughter. They're both from Gulf Breeze. They were on a surf trip in Nicaragua, and his daughter was 14 years old, and they went surfing, and his daughter was appalled at the water that the people had to drink there. They had polluted water. They would go to these rivers or a well that was just dug in the ground. They had bats in it and all kinds of stuff. And the babies would die. The people had constant digestive issues. So she came home and she was really bothered by it. So she started babysitting jobs, and she started doing garage sales. She bought 50 of these little temporary filters and brought them back with her dad and put them in houses. And so she thought, this is great, but she wanted to do more. So to make a long story very short, now they're building their 26th well, and it's like $30,000 per well, and the cities come out, the little villages, and they'll dig the trenches for like 4 miles to get the piping that is brought into their town. So they might build a little shack right outside of a sugar plantation, and they dump all the waste right there, and that pollutes their water. So now these people have a little shack, but they have a little spigot with fresh water. And so thousands and thousands of people their lives have been bettered by it. And so what those flyers are is on July 9th or 10th, it's down at Shoreline Park South on the water for this will be the 8th one. They do a big fish fry and take donations. And someone has said, look, I will match this up to $30,000. So we're hoping to raise $30,000 and have $60,000 to be able to do 2 wells. And it's the most incredible, every penny, if they go down there to go check on the wells and check on stuff, they pay their own money. So every dime you give goes to getting these people fresh water. It's awesome. Okay, that's it for now. Let's keep going. This is David Eckert that Dave took, maybe late 80s, in 89, okay. Oh, that's me, at the Brown House, I think you took that? This is a guy named Bud Lawrence, Pensacola, back when Bud had a full head of hair. This is J.B. Falbo you can see the naval base across the bay there. This was special. Dave took this picture. The top one was from the News Journal. It was Yancey Spencer at the Cross around 72. And this is obviously the color slide down below, but that was in the News Journal. And as me as a young guy, I don't know, something about that I thought it was really neat to see that. Pensacola has a lot of waves that just crash, and they're terrible sometimes, and they're so challenging. But the Cross, this is the first, I remember just starting to discover the Cross, and it was actually had a smooth, long, easy to ride wave. And I remember being out that day, and Yancey was out there, and Dave snapped that picture. And to me, it's just a classic, beautiful style of Yancey's, and I don't know, I just love that. Oh, any thoughts on that? Anything?
Yeah, the News Journal's used a number of my photos, and I've yet to be paid.
Well, you got famous.
Good call.
Dave, you took this on top of the Beach Bridge in the mid-70s, and I love how it shows the lack of development.
Yeah, that was right after they completed the new bridge, the Bob Sykes Bridge, and I just walked up to the top and took a picture. Took several, but that's one of them.
Yeah, that's so cool. This is Mark Fu, and Dave took these pictures, Pensacola. Yancey Spencer, Harry Allen, Beezer Turner, and Brian Waters.
The picture of Brian's in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
That's my van.
And where was that?
The dorms at PJC, which most people don't even know that PJC had dorms.
Yeah. That van looks like it's 100 years old. I mean, that style.
It looks really shortened for some reason.
Yeah, I wondered, I think that's J.B. Falbo at the point, I think, that you took. This is Alabama Point. I don't know the guy.
I'm not honestly sure.
Nolan? Something Nolan?
Yeah. I knew it back then, but I don't remember anymore.
Okay. This is the guys in the ad shot. Yancey, JB, and Beezer. JB, Yancey. Switchfoot on the top picture. Beautiful style.
Brian gave me these photos. He gave me 2 of them, and I don't know who took them. It had to be one of his employees. we're doing a transaction there. He's selling me some surfboards and I'm writing him a check.
But this was at the Benson building?
Yes, this is
Okay.
the original Buck Surf and Sport, or Joe Buck Surf Shop even. They're at the Benson building where Mattress Firm is now.
Was Tasty Freeze there yet?
Yep, Tasty
Okay.
Freeze. Tasty Freeze, I think was there back before anything. I'm
Okay.
not positive.
I had a friend who worked at Tasty Freeze and she made 90 cents an hour
Yeah.
working there. This is Mike McIntyre at the Hudson's?
Yeah, that's in the surf shop, in the actual display room. With, the trophies, Mike
He
McIntyre.
was actually a really good surfer, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he was.
And so he was in the Navy station here, and he got to know these guys. And Dave,
Dave.
back at Bucks. Oh, these are all Mike Bredesen. Back when he was skinny and probably no money. Thinking, how am I gonna get my next meal in Puerto Rico after this? Maybe find some coconuts. This is Steve Grimes. Was this? I want to say this was east of here for some reason. I don't know why. Like Destin? Anyway, Steve Grimes, who grew up here. This is Harry Allen in Jacksonville. He took that one.
It's a good one.
Brian? Okay. Mark Rush in Bahamas? Lutheran. This is Hank Cobia at the cross, I think, that Dave took. This is, he probably wouldn't appreciate this with his mouth open, but to me it's such a cool picture of Yancey, just his youth, probably 25 years old.
This was in New Jersey while we were standing around talking about the fact that they were canceling the surf contest, that we ended up coming back and taking the photos for Surfer House wetsuits.
So you drove all the way up there and no surf contest, you come all the way back?
Yes, that's correct.
This is Brian, Puerto Rico, I guess. Yep. One of his own boards. I think that's Brian too. Okay. Beezer Turner. Harry Allen. Dirk Wood. Yep. Dirk Wood, I think you took this one. Yeah. Beezer Turner. Beezer's one of the best surfers ever from this area. Islander ad, Mike and Brian. Dave's pictures. Oh, I think this is Robert Fink at the Bay. Yeah. Robert's here. 50 years ago, huh? This is Yancey. I want to say it's across, but I'm not positive. But this is Hank Warner. Hank Warner's from San Diego. He gave us a lot of credibility because he was partners with Yancey, and he came back here and he actually would live here for a while. And I was so amazed that he would live in Pensacola, but he loved it. And he had stories of, he inspired me and some of my friends because he had stories of New Zealand and Australia and Hawaii. He was such a great storyteller, but he's still super active. He shapes all the time in San Diego, and amazing guy. Brian Waters, Puerto Rico. Photo by Dave. I think this is Ken Roos. Dave took this picture. Ken Roos, he passed away a couple years ago from a melanoma, sadly. Beezer Turner.
Jeez.
We're almost finished. This is Brian Waters at work. Brian, how long has it been since you shaped a board?
Probably 40 years.
40 years?
Wow. Hey, Brian, that was the oscillator.
Oh, sorry, baby.
If you remember, that
Am I
was
seeing
becoming
him?
popular. But he's shaping that board. That was for me.
So, this is Mike Bredesen on the top, 40 years ago, Sterling Spencer, 40 years later, 50, maybe 50. But, before we go, here's that image, of Ted and Mike at Surfer Magazine. Does anyone else, any of you guys have a question before we go? Because I've been doing all the talking, but anything you guys want to know? Okay. I want to say that's St. Cobia, but, okay. I think it's St. Cobia, but I'm not positive. This is St. Cobia. Look beyond the pier and just the lack of development. And this was in the 70s. Very, very blurry and all that, but this is Yancey, and I just love, if you knew his style, he crouched low, he puffed his cheeks, and he was just getting ready to spring into a long turn. Epic style. Harry Allen, I love that picture. Dave took this one. Gene Bagley from Texas. Oh, in Texas. Oh, okay. We already saw this one. Beezer Turner, Puerto Rico. Yancey Spencer, Pensacola. Brian Waters again. Yancey again. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Mexico surf trip. I see Robert Fink at the top left. I see Tom Frudiker. I see Brian Waters, Rick Settlemeyer, Dave Skelton, Paul Hetherington, and in the striped shirt was Mike Cassidy. Okay. We're getting ready to wrap it up, you guys. Could that be Rick Sievers?
Look at
I
these
think it's-
dolphins.
No, it's the guy from California that is friends with JB or something.
Oh, Rob Hart.
Yeah.
Okay. Yancey, Wendell McGahey, Rick Settlemeyer, Beezer Turner in Texas, Mike Bredesen, and with that, we're going to stop. I've got a million more.
Before we leave, if anyone's got a question, I'll be happy to answer them once we get off the stage. But I want to thank all my friends and people that have known for so long for coming out. But I especially want to thank my friends Gary and Joni, who flew out here all the way from Texas, Gary and Joni to Pingree, and just to be here. So they may have more direction for the longest distance.
I want to thank everybody.
I'm sorry,
for coming.
darling.
I want to do a little bragging. I have 6 grandchildren that came tonight to listen to
Yoo-hoo!
this.
I don't have much to say, but thank you very much. I really appreciate all the applause.
I think we have a few prizes to give away, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Okay. Okay.
We want to also thank you. You get a special gift for being here tonight. Tom, this is yours.
Oh, really? Oh, cookies. Thank you.
And this is Brian's.
Sorry.
And this is Dave's. And this is Mike's. And then I also have one up here for Rusty Kahn. And I don't know if Ari is here, but I'll bring these down to you. But Rusty, yours are up here. Rusty is our handyman who is just an angel at the Benson House, which we're hoping to turn into the Gulf Coast Surfing Museum. So that's why we're doing this. And we thank Tom, because if it wasn't for that meeting last year, where we normally have 15, 20 people, show up for our meetings, except if it's the UFOs or Dead Man Son. But 105 people came, and tonight I think they set up 150 seats. So I think we exceeded that. But but it will happen with all of you kind of helping, pitching in, becoming members. That's what the red one here is for. This is, yeah, if you can take the red one there. And, okay, that'd be great. Well, not me. Let's have you three. All right, so this red, if you have a red ticket, look at your red ticket. Okay, and I think, Sherry, how many prizes are on the red table? This is our banner for the evening, Sherry Crone. How many? 3, okay. So the first one, you just run over there and pick your first prize, 4006199.
Red?
Red ticket, 99. Is that Luella? All right, you can get the first one. Give her a round of applause. Right.
I might have to.
And I'm just going to read the last 2 digits.
See what mine is, baby, while I
90. Who has 90? There's a red one. Red ticket.
Last 2 digits.
90.
Is it mine?
Going once, going twice. Maybe they left. Maybe they lost it. All right. Well, let's pick another one.
What is
Yeah,
mine,
just
baby?
one. Okay.
I want one of you.
03. So 4006203. 203. Oh, Sarah Lee. Is that yours? Okay, go to the table back there and pick a gift. And there's one more gift, right, Sherry?
There's one more after this.
Okay.
Here's the last one.
All right. The last red one, 186. Okay, and I found my glasses on.
Donald, all right.
Congratulations. Okay, round of applause for them. Now we're going to
David.
have a blue ticket.
What number is my blue? I was trying to get his picture
Sherry,
going.
how many are on? There's several on that table.
There he goes.
Not white, blue. I'm sorry, blue. 5 on the blue. Okay.
Okay, what's my number?
And there's a package of a box of sticker packs. I did like 100 packs of. Oh, please, you want some stickers? Please
And
grab
that's
them.
in a basket right up here on the front.
Okay, yeah, right here, just, yeah.
Okay. 5110090.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, go on back and pick your
You
gift.
traveled from Birmingham.
Oh, that's awesome. 109. Okay, go on. Give her a round of applause. I can't see who they are. 139. Anybody 139? Has somebody got their hand up? Okay, great. Go back to the table there.
Here's the last blue one.
136.
Do we have a 136?
136. 136. Going once, going twice. Okay, go left. 120. 120.
One more.
087. All right, okay.
You gotta share your pictures with us, okay? If you don't mind, okay?
One more. One.
Whoa, go girl.
All right. Okay, round of applause for all the blue tickets. Now the white ones are round tickets. That's up here in front, and I think there are 3.
Car, so I
There's
didn't.
and I don't have the list in front of me, but I want to thank Kaya, Freddie Myers. Is he here?
Freddie, where are you?
Okay, Kaya donated several items from the raffle artwork, painting, and then there's an awesome turtle print. The painting is the silhouettes on the beach. And then, there's a gift basket from Water Boys. And thank you, Interlight,
I wanted to
for your
win one
donations
of
too. And,
Hey, y'all made it. Like you're famous, you're gonna be famous. Will you tell my husband? Tell me that.
So the first person to guess whoever picked the first, your choice of the three that are there. 0 plus 389 6 0.
I am not a professional. I found one of those babies in the bromeliad, the pink bromeliad on the front porch. So. Loudon said this with all this stuff going on.
104.
People are gonna start.
Okay.
I wanted some of Freddie's art.
There's 3. Right there, right there, right there.
I did, and I left my couch in the house. Okay, we're still thinking about getting the order. I mean, it's got to get done.
Okay.
Okay, 103. Somebody have 103? 103. All right, white ticket. 103 for the white ticket. Last. Oh, do you have it? Does somebody have it?
Pam,
Oh,
you
Diane.
want something? Oh, wait. Show us.
Okay, Diane, you get the last item.
That's our
If you
treasurer's
want the house
walk.
with the big yellow dot on your seat, please come up here.
Oh, yeah, the 4 people with the dots.
Hey, Jody Brown.
Thanks for
Let's have
coming.
another round of applause.
This is not my first time. Pam, show us. Oh, I'm such a... Oh. Thank you. Wait. Here you are, Ed. Hi.
Hello.
I was taking names, but who was here or not. Hey there, how are you? Nice to see you. Good, I like your shirt. Nice to see you too. It's my son Jake. It's Miss Teresa. We'll see you online. Oh, I'm so glad. Give me a text or a buzz or a call or something. I'm gonna go spend the weekend at my mother's. She's 70 yards. Oh, nice. I think I'll start.